It's been a long time coming. It's Chloe Swarbrick from the Green Party cutting the ribbon. There we go. So today we're going to be a bit of a fly on the wall because it's lovely. Oh, hey Chris, how you doing, man? We're live streaming for YouTube here for old Abe's benefit. Oh, yeah. I'm so grateful to get an invite. And I'm like, oh, cheers, bro. Let me stream it for you.
whare, koutou la te rōpū e tūnei. Nō reira mihi ake rā ki a koe te tuahine, nau anō rā e huakina ta tatau mo tātou i tēnei rā. Mahi te kāna ana, nā te kāwangatanga kē i aia i whakamana. Whakarangatira ai ka mātou nei whiringa i tēnei rā. Nō reira mihi ake i te rangi, mihi ake i a whakatūru ki te kau nei. Tūturu whakamaua ki a tīna, haumi e hui e.
Driving the cannabis referendum today, but nonetheless, had 34,000 New Zealanders voted in a different direction, we would have ended up with legally regulated cannabis in the country. Alas, we did not. I think what 1.5 million New Zealanders on either side of that referendum showed us, though, is that the status quo is fundamentally untenable. And the really interesting thing about the debate that I found for legally regulating cannabis is that those who are so profoundly opposed would consistently raise up their own experiences whereby they have found that, people in their family or otherwise had used the substance to excess and therefore we needed to get rid of it. But if you look around the world and everywhere where there has been an intention to try and wipe cannabis off the face of the earth, in fact the opposite has happened. We've seen more cannabis, it's got stronger, more people have been put in prison, more families torn apart, and all the more harm has been done. So what we have, if you're looking at the spectrum of approaches that we can take to this substance as far as legal responses go, is on the one side of things, complete criminal prohibition, or on the other side of things, a complete free market. And I would argue, from my perspective, that both ends of those extremes is where you end up with a maximization of harm. Because whether it is the criminal underground or commercial multinational companies, you are going to have the maximization of harm because those entities operate to sell as much of their product as possible in order to make a quick buck without next to any care for the community that they are servicing. So if we think about pulling back from those extremes and getting into a far safer space, we're talking about meaningful regulation. And this was what was so interesting about trying to have these, I thought and had hoped would be informed and educated debates of the likes of the Honourable Nick Smith from the National Party, that was kind of the forefront of the opposition here, is that so frequently we were met with this argument that it was just impossible to see that happen. Yet what we know, based on the most recent stats that I've looked at from the government, the state, our government knows that around 635,000 New Zealanders consume cannabis on a relatively regular basis every single year. It's around 11% of the population. That's from Statistics New Zealand, Health New Zealand, Health Survey data. So this is not going away. It has never gone away. And the question for all of us as society and as communities is whether we want to take an educated and informed step forward to regulate, to reduce harm, but also to enable health and well-being for our communities. So I commend everyone who has brought this together so that we can look at the exciting things, but also the very boring and normal things that come with a plant that grows in the ground. Thank you, Pat.
Humble origins eventually led to this auspicious moment. We wrote in the Whakaman in such a grand building, right at the heart of the country's largest city, which also happens to be the seat of our local MP Chloe Swabel, our strongest ally in Parliament. There's a brief history of how this wonderful idea evolved into existence. For me, the timeline starts in 2009 when I met Abe Gray under the Union Lawn Walnut Tree at Otago University. Abe was studying his master's in botany and was leading campus protests against cannabis prohibition. He wanted someone to make a documentary on the topic that led to 2 TV3 productions that I made, and Drug War 2 and 1, which will be shown here soon. In 2013, Abe determined that whakamana was the way forward. In Te Reo, it means empowerment, to make mana, to build authority. That was the kaupapa of Abe's small museum set up in a house in Kavisha, a South Dunedin suburb where he and his supporters endeavored to educate the wider public about cannabis law reform by converting one of the front rooms into an exhibition of cannabis history and the other into a media center where they did podcasts. In the back was a members' lounge. I visited several times to film Drug War. When I arrived in 2015, so did the hot tub, which got installed in the backyard. The next time I returned to Dunedin was 2018, when Abe relocated to the centre of town, a block from the Octagon. Without doubt, whakamana was at that time the most popular drug in New Zealand, with people coming from all over the world to visit the cafe, museum exhibits, and clubhouse. 2019, Abe relocated whakamana to the historic Chance building in Christchurch, and a year ago to the day, almost to the day, Abe presented whakamana corporate for a one-week pop-up event. Sharing their love so much that we are here now, permanently opening the first cannabis-focused event centre and the first legal dispensary lounge in New Zealand history. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the visionary behind this historic moment, Abe Gray.
Thank you all for coming. Yes, this is my life's work, and I am very proud of this moment. And if this was it, that would be good. I would be happy with that. That's pretty good. But this is only the beginning. So yeah, watch this space. Now we have a platform to do everything we always wanted to do with cannabis acceptance in New Zealand. And I keep writing to the ministry and calling the police, and they keep telling me, yes, we told you it's fine, stop calling us. So here we go. And, you know, Chloe referenced the referendum. You know, people think that we failed. Cannabis wasn't legalized. But cannabis was legalized. And what that referendum was about was, do we want cannabis to be controlled? And the haters voted no. They don't want cannabis to be controlled. So don't complain to me if we present it in this wonderful, extravagant way. We're allowed to. And cannabis is nothing to be afraid of. It is an awesome plant. It's the oldest plant, co-evolved with the human species that brought us civilization as we know it. And I won't go on and on, but I welcome anyone now to come to the museum on weekdays 10 to 3 or Saturdays 10 to 2, and as long as we're not too busy selling cannabis, which has been keeping us very busy, all legally, I can give you a little tour of the whole spiel. Thanks for coming, guys, and yeah, enjoy yourselves. There's some food, and you can look around at the exhibits, and yeah, meet some nice people, and this is just a taste of things to come now that we have this for our community. Thanks.
Been asked to say a few words for Māori supporter, flora, and traditional healing plants that we use. We also see taru, what we call cannabis, a part of that whānau. In the beginning, Tāna was given the realm of the forest, the ngahere, the native forest. He knew if he didn't marry and have children, have wives and have children, his world would be void. So in that world of void and creation, taru was born. So from there comes the kāpano, the pū, te rea, te pea, te more, te aka, and we now have whakamana. That is a museum for another taonga of ours, the taru. So I wish Abe all the best in his project and venture. whare, the beautiful whare, and I hope you can all join us and celebrate with Abe and the tremendous work that he's done. And his team, so no reira, he short, he puto tēnei kore, but tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. I've just handed Tomo a bell, and this past year, we call it the Red Marco. The Marco, Tony married Apula, and in that marriage they had 3 sons. The Red Marco, the Black Machipo, and the Coral group. This one here represents the bloodline and connection to Papua New Guinea, to Moreira.
Kuturu whakamaua kia tīna. Tīna. Haumie. Huie. And the floor is open for anybody who wishes to make a speech.
Sometimes cannabis makes people shy.
Not me. One boy, one boy.
Look, I don't even think it's alive. It's already legal. It's already medicinal uses. It's already doctors that can prescribe it to you. Problem is obviously in the niche take the legal one properly. Maybe because kids not caring. The other big problem is there's no support. I don't know if any of you have been to Canada. We really had in New Zealand. But that's where the problem lies. The problem, like Chloe mentioned, is that at both ends fail the industry. We currently don't have a support system that's going to help. And they need the help. When whatever substance, whatever addiction, whatever crutch becomes too much for consuming, there's nowhere to go to. So it's build those places that they can go to. And if those places are there, make them look better and put some signs on them, they know what they are. We're all human, we make mistakes and we don't judge up.
Thanks everyone. Feel free to socialize and come out. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And we have our Friday evening social club as always down at the Blue Frog, down at the Viaduct on Jellicoe Street. So that should be a special one tonight. Thanks for coming.
Otherwise, it's a draw.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Cannabis Museum is now open. After nearly 100 years of prohibition, the very first legal smoking club is here. And I was very grateful to Abe to have given me an invite here. So I gave him a call and I said, bro, would it be okay if I live streamed it for you? And he's like, yeah, just as long as you don't do your, boisterous Vinny Eastwood interrupting and stuff like that. And it's just, of course, man, I would never screw you over like that. So yeah, it's quite a good turnout here, and it's reminiscent of the old school days of the dactory, where we had hundreds and hundreds of members, in some cases lined up around the block to come in and get cannabis. And it was, of course, illegal at that time that I was a cannabis activist. And I became a cannabis activist after getting arrested for cannabis. And the police told me that if I was honest with them, they'd go easy on me. And so I was honest with them, and they were going to send me to jail for up to 8 years for 13 grams of cannabis for sale. For a first offence, no diversion available. Now, living with the possibility of that happening to me, going to jail at a young age, I believe I was 19 or 20 at the time, it's nearly 20 years ago now. 20 years ago now that I've been loosely involved in the cannabis industry, or rather the cannabis prohibition protest movement. And here we've got Abe Gray, who I incidentally sold cannabis to when I was a dealer in Dunedin when I was 20. And he's come up here and created this wonderful space for people in the name of the freedom of the plant. And that's just wonderful. Arik, would you mind, we're live streaming right now, would you mind saying a few words for the audience? Or no, he's got a mouthful of food. We're going to give him just a second here. Arik is the director of a number of cannabis documentaries, including Drug Lord and Drug Lord 2. And he's been a friend of mine, I think, ever since the...
2009. Vinny picked me up at the airport when I flew in from seeing Abe at Walnut Tree. I met Abe a few days before, and then I met Vinny, and he gave me a lift to the dactory where I lived for a year, and we made TV3 Inside New Zealand High Time.
Yeah, and indeed that footage there in High Time, some of it was mine, and it's now the only place where you can find any of that footage because my entire channels and everything were deleted, so there's almost no history of Vinny being a cannabis activist anymore.
Unfortunately. What are we talking about here, Vinny? Wakamana?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And of course the whole idea of cannabis being an illegal substance and how wrong that really is. And you as a documentary filmmaker, can you actually tell me what your inspiration was to actually put that much effort in? Because making a cannabis documentary or any documentary is an enormous mission, and I believe that many of these times you've been doing it unpaid, just out of the goodness of your heart. Can you tell me what inspired you to do that?
Well, my dream was to open a cannabis cafe, and Abe has made that dream real right now. The dream was to legalize cannabis for general consumption, which we have not done, so that I could fulfill my personal dream of running a cannabis cafe in New Zealand, which they have in my hometown of Cape Town right now. They have legal cannabis there, and you can walk into a cannabis lounge and smoke cannabis legally. Here we have to get prescriptions to do it legally, so we've just found this little shortcut, this workaround to get this place up and running, to make it a reality. And you can come in here, get your prescription filled out, buy some cannabis on site and consume it. You can vaporize it in the club member over there in the back area, or you can smoke it outside because we want to be healthy. If you're smoking, you've got to go outside.
Okay, so why? Why did you actually get motivated to do that? What happened to you?
What happened to me? Well, what happened to me was I met a whole lot of people that had been arrested themselves for cannabis, needlessly, incarcerated, prosecuted, their lives ruined, and then it happened to me as well. That gave me some extra motivation. That's where Drug Lord 2 came from. After I got arrested, I said, okay, I gotta keep doing this, made Drug Lord 2. Beat my charges, wasted $100,000 of taxpayer money, but here I am, and now we stand here in our own little bastard. A fact on the ground. It's a fact on the ground. It's the first legal cannabis consumption lounge in New Zealand history, and we're not going anywhere.
2009 to
It's our year.
2024.
This is our year.
Good on you, mate.
2024.
Thank you so much, brother.
Oh, I got some weed.
You do? Oh, come. Yeah, known Arik a long time, ever since I was a young cannabis activist. That's how I got into activism. And of course, when you get into activism of any kind, you may start to notice that there are other causes that are related, some adjacent. And so not only am I a cannabis activist, I'm an activist in many other forms as well. Now, ironically, as a cannabis user, I'm just going to go talk to Abe now. Abe, we are live.
Let me just put this.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
You can come with me.
All right. I'm going to follow Abe now into the back room.
The library. Just put that up there.
Oh, much quieter for an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, man. How are you feeling, bro?
So good. Here, let's step out in the sun. This is awesome, bro. I mean, can you believe it? Like, can you imagine you were there in the early days? Like, how could we have achieved this?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I understand.
I guess other than, like, smashing your head against a brick wall until it just breaks right through.
Well, I think it was 2007 since I was a cannabis activist. And how long have you been a cannabis activist?
99.
99.
Yeah.
Since 99.
Yeah.
So what's this, 25 years?
Yeah.
A quarter of a century. How do you feel now, man? You say you feel real good. That doesn't begin to explain it. This is how is there a weight
Surreal.
on your
Surreal.
shoulders that has been lifted or something like that?
More like a giant weight been placed now. Like, yeah. Now we gotta, like, smash it home, you know? Now we gotta, like, we've been given the green light to roll out cannabis culture across New Zealand, you know, at as rapid a pace as we can muster. We've got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Now, I spoke to Arik, the director of Drug Lord 2, and I asked him why he actually got into cannabis activism and made his documentaries, and he said that there were a lot of people that he knew that had a lot of unjustified arrests, and he himself was arrested as well. He did manage to beat the charges at the cost of about $100,000 to the New Zealand taxpayer, of course. Thank you very much. And I wanted to know what was your actual first instance of this where you decided, no, this is wrong, I have to do something about it. What happened?
Well, I mean, I had always seen the effects of prohibition as a cannabis user, and I guess I used to work in a shop where I was sort of exposed to radical political literature and like the Grateful Dead counterculture, and then I learned about, you know, the lies and misinformation that was prohibition and the conspiracy of prohibition, and it like intrigued me and just totally changed my view of the world and politics and how things actually work, and just got me interested and made me realize, you know, you gotta take care of yourself and you should learn how, you know, things work, and drove me to study botany and get involved in politics and really, I don't know, become a citizen and try to take control of my own destiny. And that was like, you know, like a stoner teenager can get those feelings from cannabis in the right environment. And that's what's always driven me. Yeah.
And this is about sharing the benefits with others as well, because obviously this is a big kind of club now, isn't it?
It's a community facility to try to, you know, empower cannabis users to feel that, you know, pride, basically, and, you know, to not feel like an outcast and want to be a, you know, like a engaged citizen and a thoughtful person, yeah, instead of feeling like, oh, nobody cares about me, nobody listens to me. This is your place, yeah.
Now, in terms of the workaround, how exactly does somebody become a member here? What is the address here? What are those details? What are the benefits of membership? Let's go do a run through.
like at the moment, the museum is open to the public. We have a doctor, we can do telemedicine around the country, get you your prescription, then we can legally sell you the weed at the best prices, highest quality. We're like a clinic and dispensary that's focused on patients themselves, run by flower connoisseurs. We're not going to deal with shit just because it's cheap, all that kind of stuff. In terms of like the membership, we haven't nutted out the details yet. There's going to be multiple tiers. There's this area out here. There's another little sort of smoking room downstairs. So those are going to kind of be available at all hours for members. But it's probably going to be by invitation. So we have a public free social club at the Blue Frog every Friday night, and people are welcome to come to that. And I guess if you, distinguish yourself as a, GC, then maybe you'll get a tap on the shoulder.
Really, an exclusive members-only medical cannabis club, or is it recreational as well? I mean, is there really a difference? Because it's been known for some time that all cannabis use is basically medicinal.
Yeah, 99.9% of users are eligible to be medical users. So if you're eligible to be a patient and you're just waiting to be seen, that's fine.
What kind of people come in here that you've known? What are the things that cannabis helps with?
Oh, the list is so I couldn't even be. I mean, it's just your classic stereotypes, but everything. I mean, and I can't give confidential medical information, but you would be blown away by the number of people, especially when you take the stigma out of it and just say that your normal relaxation and wellness is like a good enough reason. Like, these people in so many situations are improving their quality of life with cannabis. They're not junkies. If you're a user and your life is going well, then you're getting a therapeutic benefit. So that's pretty much everybody. I gotta go back in.
Thanks, brother. That's Abe Gray here from the Whakamana Cannabis Museum. 25 years he's been advocating for this to happen, and it's finally here. The day is finally here. And you can already smell freedom in the air. So I'm very glad to be here and to see how many people have turned out, and I'm extremely grateful to have been given an invite myself. Abe sent me a text and I gave him a call back. So, look, it's great. Hamish, may I have a few words with you for a moment here? Hamish is like, he's like a living mascot of the cannabis plant. Just look at his suit. Isn't it glorious?
Glorious, absolutely glorious.
So I've spoken to Abe and I've spoken to Arik, and I've asked them the reasons why they personally got involved in this movement in the first place. What was it that hurt them? What was it that awoken them? What was it that activated them? And I'd like to ask you the same question.
Nice. Yeah, I guess having a herniated disc, chronic pain patient, wake up in the morning just wanting to kill myself. I find consuming cannabis takes the edge off a little bit, makes a little bit of light humor on the knives that are currently like stabbing me in my L5, S1 kind of, yeah. So spinal pains brought me around to, the anger issues that I suffer from, and then the relaxation from consuming cannabis. So yeah, pain relieving, post-traumatic stress disorder relieving, and yeah, helps with anxiety as well, like public speaking. Hi guys, nice to meet you. So yeah, consuming cannabis for multiple reasons, and yeah, my feelings towards cannabis and the freedoms, person sovereignty, person freedoms, obviously, if we've got the parallels of nicotine and alcohol, it just blows my mind that we're still not there for like, it's easy, let's get a license for alcohol, or let's get a license for cannabis. It's just easy, you just write Alcohol and Cannabis Licensing Act, and you just ask the government, can you sell cannabis? Can you sell alcohol? Just same thing, right? Just need somebody to issue the license, and do you have a security camera? Do you sell to children? You don't, you have, go ahead, have a license. So that's what we're doing here. We've got doctors on board, we've got pharmacy on board, we've got our own clinic. So long time history. First met my man Vinny here at the Dactory way back when. So basically this is like Dactory 2.0. We now got doctors on board and pharmacies on board. So we're selling and advertising publicly mother ganja, cannabis, and yeah, now legally, because we're holding prescriptions from our doctors to say that yes, we were right the whole time. No, we're right the whole time. No. So the doctor never told me to say that, but it's like the little child in my mind finally releasing the energy that like was pent up inside me, knowing that I was right all the time. No. So,
how many years is it? Because I spoke to Arik, he says he'd been doing it since 2009, advocating. I've been doing it since 2007, Abe since 1999. As this is 25 years in the making, this place. How long have you been going?
Yeah, well, I don't know, like for advocating wise, ever since my snowboard injury, I know that I've been out and proud, like straight out the closet, telling people like Mother Ganja helps with my pain issues. So I would say, yeah, near on 3 decades. First, like dropped myself as the resident DJ at the Dactory, like found that place, thought that was a mecca, and just like moved my records in, turned up the music, and just like, yeah, it's entertaining the people there at the Dactory way back when. So yeah, like I said, it's like Dactory 2.0. It's called the Greenhouse with Calyx Clinic. We've got like, Whakamana Cannabis Museum. We're open 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock on Saturday. Come on down, you might see me here, you might see Vinny here. We'll be like blazing out the back, blazing out the front, blazing wherever we want, because it's legal, because I'm a prescribed cannabis consumer. Job bless my life.
And what is the address here again for those who want to come by and look?
I believe it's 19 Beresford Square. So it's right in the heart of the back of K Road, heart of the top of, Queen Street.
Right at the back of the old supper club,
Oh.
Oh, Hamish, thank you so much, bro. You're awesome, man.
Welcome, Vinny Peace.
It's great.
Loving it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be signing off shortly, and I would like to thank all of those people who turned up, and of course, all of those of you who have been persecuted or looked down upon as a cannabis user by those people who don't know any better or who do know better and are just lying. Good on you. You don't give yourself enough credit, guys. And it's a painful experience to be persecuted when you are right and they are wrong. And it's people like the people here today who have experienced the front bullying end of that system. And they have done their best to survive through this dark time. It has been illegal for close to 100 years in New Zealand. That's nearly 100 years of collective activism. I remember one time I saw, I believe, the first person to ever be arrested for protesting the cannabis laws in New Zealand. He spent time in jail, and this whole thing is, I don't even know how I feel about it yet. It's almost like it's not real yet. For me. And that could be because, ironically, I stopped smoking cannabis a couple of days ago. It's just like, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. And I'd like to have a look at the front here of Beresford Square, number 19. That looks like an actual museum, doesn't it? Doesn't that look legit? Like, man, that's cool, bro. Like, it's actually really cool. It was unfortunate, of course, that we had a massive construction vehicle here going while the people were trying to talk and open the thing up. And so, if you guys want to come on down and get your thing, it's called Hope Town Alpha. Isn't that interesting? I believe named that before the Whakamana Museum moved in, but isn't the world full of synchronistic little things like that? Hope Town. And here we have the ribbon. It has been cut. The place actually is open. People are becoming members. I'm gonna go upstairs. Oh, it's got a rope in the way. I don't think I'll do that. Might be considered naughty, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I'm trying to keep it strictly about cannabis. Of course, we cover lots and lots of different things on the show, and this might be the first time that I've gone out in any form of activism and live streaming since my arrest on the 18th of August 2021. So I've been out of any kind of activism for nearly 3 years in terms of coming out here and doing this. So it's, yeah, what a wonderful and welcoming place. Here's the nice view from outside the museum. And as you can see, the party is in full swing. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and please share this around and this important information where there is a cannabis club open to the public. The Whakamana Cannabis Museum, brought to you in part by Abe Gray. This is Vinny Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching.